Hi guys, today I want to show you how I repress my broken makeup. Alright, so today I wanted to come on here and I wanted to show you guys how I repress my broken makeup. So I know that everyone has had that moment where you drop your favorite highlighter or your favorite eyeshadow palette or pretty much any powder-based makeup that's pressed into something and you pick it up, it's all broken. It happens a lot to me with my highlighters because highlighters tend to be a lot softer, so they break a lot easier, and it's so devastating. It makes you so sad. And a lot of the times it's not like cheap stuff. Like I have broken so many of my Jeffree Star highlighters, which were like 30 bucks a piece, and it's really a sad moment in my life. But the good news is that there is a really easy way to fix and repair those and essentially repress them. Now I will say they're not gonna have like the pretty patterns and pretty designs in them that they come like when you first get them, obviously. So all you need for this is a bunch of stuff that you probably already have in your house, which is what makes it even better. So you're gonna obviously need whatever you've broken. You're gonna need some type of little bowl to mix. You're gonna be dumping the product into a bowl to mix it before you put it back into the container that it comes in. So you wanna have some type of bowl, something to stir with, a spoon. I also usually have a couple toothpicks, rubbing alcohol, 60% or higher, just because this is essentially what you're gonna be using to mix the powder into kind of a cream base. And then when you press it, this will completely dry and leave you with a powdered product again. So you wanna use an alcohol, or since we all know that everyone's got like all this hand sanitizer, and if we don't require as much hand sanitizer anymore and you have a bunch at home, this actually works just as well. So you can go with that. So hand sanitizer or alcohol, a bowl, toothpicks, a spoon, and that's literally it. That's all you need. And most of the time you probably have all of those items in your house already. All right, so pretty easy. I'm gonna go ahead and just go step by step with you, show you how to do it, and then we will talk about it as we go. So we're gonna take the highlighter first. As you can see, this is like completely shattered and broken into a million pieces. We're gonna dump it into the bowl. And you wanna make sure you just break up any chunks that you have in here. It just makes it easier for you if you can really just get it into like as fine of a powder as possible. That way the alcohol mixes into the whole product evenly. So I'm just taking my spoon, I'm just making sure it's all broken up. And then I'm gonna take my alcohol, which I have in a little dropper like this because I have empty droppers. If you don't have one, it's not a big deal. You can just literally use the bottle. I just recommend if you have a straw or something like that to take and put into there or pour it into the spoon, just so you don't accidentally pour too much, especially since my alcohol bottle is so huge. I was just a little worried that I'd accidentally like dump it all in there. So I'm gonna use this little dropper just so I can really control the amount that I put in. And I'm just gonna do a full dropper size. It's actually a very large palette, so I'm gonna do a couple, probably about 3. And then I'm gonna stir it up and see how we're looking. You don't want it to be too wet or too runny, because then you're gonna have to do a lot of drawing and a lot of pressing. You just wanna get like a nice paste consistency, kind of like a cream-based blush or a cream-based shadow, how it's like a wetness to it. So it's just like a really creamy base. It's a little bit easier to spread, as you can see in the bottom bowl. That's a good way to check to see if you've got it to where you're gonna be able to mess with it. Just kind of spread it on the bottom of the bowl and see how easy it is to spread. If you have like a little tiny little like beauty spatula, those work really well. I used to have some of those, but alas, they're all gone. So I'm just gonna use my little toothpick. I'm just making sure I get every little piece of product that I can possibly get onto here, just so I don't lose any of it. And then you're just gonna take your spoon, like I said, or whatever you're using, and you're gonna just spread it out. See how it's kind of like, it's kind of the consistency of peanut butter, if that makes sense. If you're a peanut butter person, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about, but that's pretty much about the consistency that I have it at. And I'm literally just spreading it around. It is okay if it seems like it's up a little bit, like if it's raised up past where the palette ends. That's really just because we haven't pressed it yet, so don't worry. All right, so now the next step here, and this doesn't have to be perfectly smooth or pretty, or you just wanna try to get it as even as you can, but if it's got places where it's got more in it, that's fine. When you go to press it, it's gonna really kind of spread out and even itself out a little bit. The next thing you're gonna do, and I recommend when doing this, I try to find some type of makeup that I have that's as close to the size of the circle as possible, just because it makes it easier to really just do like one really good hard press. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and take our paper towel here, and I usually just take a paper towel and I fold it in half. I will say this is when a quality paper towel is beneficial. I do recommend if you have like, if you can go get like a roll of Bounty paper towels or something like that, they actually do work much better in this situation. But these, I don't even know what they are, to be honest with you. They feel decent, so it should be okay. And then you're just gonna take this, set it right on top of the product. And then usually I'll take my hand and just kind of press, just so I can kind of see where the outline of the makeup is. Cause now that I have this paper towel on here, I'm not really sure. So if you look and see, now that I've pressed it down with my hand, I can really see where that circle is, so that I really know where I need to put this. Cause I really wanna get this right in the center, as centered as possible. And then you're gonna literally just take this and you're gonna press down. Give it some pressure. Don't be scared. It's not so wet that it's gonna like ooze over, and you'll see like an indent, and you can lift it up here. And you're gonna see, it actually does, like this one, it put the indent of the design that's in the paper towel, which actually isn't totally awful, so I don't hate it. So it will take whatever design is on the paper towel. So you can also kind of try to find a fancy paper towel if you want, if that's what you're into. And I'm just gonna take one more paper towel here. I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna press my hand here. And as you can see, I'm still able to see that indent, which means there's still alcohol in here. So I'm gonna go ahead and give it a press again, because you really just wanna make sure that you've got it really well. And now when I go to do this, I'm gonna literally go as close to the rim, like all the way to the rim as I can. And I'm gonna work around in a circle and really just make sure I press all those sides, so that I know that I have a nice, even, flat amount of product all the way around. You can always obviously take another paper towel if you want, just kind of give it a little press here. It's okay if there's still a little bit of wetness to it. Like I said, you're gonna let this sit for 4 to 6 hours, and all that leftover wetness is gonna really dry. The biggest thing is just making sure you press it as hard as you can so that it dries pressed. We're not applying as much pressure as a machine, but when they press these into a palette, they are in a form like this. And then they're taking this machine and they're literally pressing it down and applying pressure. So that's what we're doing. We obviously can't apply as much pressure to the product as a machine can, but as long as you're really giving it a good push, you should be able to get a decent press. All right, and then the last thing you wanna do, I'll usually just take this paper towel, the part that didn't touch the product because it already has some alcohol on it and it makes it a lot easier, is I'm just gonna go around and clean up the edges of this, just so I don't have like a bunch of messy product everywhere. You can do this after if you want. I like to do it before because, like I said, there's already some alcohol on here, which makes it really easy just to wipe. And I just clean up so that it's all even and pressed. All right, so that's literally it. It's pressed. It has like a little design from the paper towel in it, which I am not mad at. And we're gonna let this sit for 4 to 6 hours, and then it's gonna be good to go. You can, if you want to accelerate the drying process, you can take your blow dryer, or if you have a fan on a cool setting, and you can actually like blow dry it if you wanna speed it up. Little quick tip / trick, but otherwise you can literally just let it set. You're gonna obviously, like I said, leave it open. Don't close it while it's drying. You don't want it to be wet inside there while it's drying, so take longer to dry. And you also have higher chance of like bacteria and mold collection, stuff like that. That's the other nice thing too with using the alcohol, is it really helps prevent that during the drying process as well. You shouldn't have any issues. I just recommend not closing it. And then that is done. And that's really it. It's 5 steps, right? Is that what we said? 5 steps? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 5 steps, really 4, because the 5th step is just letting it dry. And you have your palette completely fixed and able to be used again. I have not noticed any formula issues with this, and I've done this with a ton of different products from a ton of different brands, eyeshadows, highlighters, powders, everything. I don't notice a difference in it messing up the formula or anything like that. I will say if you do get what they call hard pan, which kind of means that it's not picking up on the brush, you would just want to re-break it up and do it again, and just make sure you're not pressing it down too much. I haven't had that issue, but like I said, if you do, you can literally just redo it over again, and just don't press it down as hard, because that just probably what happened is you just put a little bit too much pressure on it, and it really just compacted the product to the point where it like isn't coming off of itself, if that makes sense. That's really it. I just wanted to show you guys this so that you can fix those palettes and those products at home that you have, that you love, and you wish you could use again. I hope this was helpful for you guys. If you are new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you get notifications on all the videos I do in the future. And if this was something that was interesting to you or you got any value out of this, go ahead and give me a like on it. I'd really appreciate it. And thank you guys for watching, and I will see you on the next video.